Hello and welcome to episode 152 of Nuggets Dungeon Terrain. This is the first in a new series where I'm building some terrain tiles for a steampunk setting, in particular a steampunk factory. I'm going to build two passages. The first is going to be a boiler room with some coal storage, and the second one is going to have a strong Victorian theme, looking like a dingy old alleyway. All of the room sections in this set are going to be straight walled. I'm going to have 2 centimetre high walls and 1 centimetre high bases. Here I'm taking a collection of screw caps and lollipop sticks and other little bits and pieces and joining it into the walls. This is to make it look like different gas and steam pipes are running along as the factory continues. A lot of the wall sections I want to look like some kind of rendering or concrete, but I'm going to break up that pattern every now and again with some brickwork, which I'm drawing straight into the wall. You'll notice on each end I've left a vertical strip. I'm going to continue this theme on many of the other pieces as well. I'm going to have this become a metal reinforced plate. I push a rock into some of the areas that will be the rendering or concrete to make it look like some of it's crumbling away a little bit. Here's a look at the opposite wall section. On the floor I'm going to place one of these wine bottle tops. I'm also going to place a few large tent grommets and hollow them out to make it look like there's pits underneath. This lid will become the cover of a steam tank, and the holes will become areas that coal is thrown down into. I'm breaking up what will otherwise be mostly a metallic floor area with these floorboards that I'm drawing straight into the XPS foam. I use the pen to mark a lot of imperfections and breakages in the floorboards, as well as some holes where some of the nails might have come out. I then use a toothpick to run heaps of extra marks up and down the floorboards, and then I back that up with a couple of deeper cuts with the pen, including some knots. These large areas that I'm drawing are going to be large metal plates. They're put on in a sort of a jigsaw pattern. using the scrap metal wherever possible, and filling in the gaps with other pieces. Here comes one of the tent or tarpaulin grommets now. The other round piece that you can see just next to it is an offcut from some plumbing. It's made out of copper. So a couple of good features about these grommets include the fact that you can push it straight into the foam, and they sit pretty flat, so a mini standing on top of it isn't going to topple over or lean to one side. Let's flip the angle for the painting. Nothing very revolutionary here. You could probably guess most of the stuff that's going into it and have something similar in your own paint collection. On a side note, I know a lot of people would probably think that steampunk is bright and shiny, and seeing as it's just been made, it's not like a ruin, and I would back that up, except this is a factory, and a lot of Victorian era factories were pretty dark, unpleasant, sooty places, and that's what I used as my inspiration for the final look. The second passageway is an offset, small connecting section. In this one, I was experimenting more with a run-down, dark-looking effect. This section really is an experiment, so instead of cutting it out of a solid, nice piece of foam, I've just found several pieces of scrap that are going to make up all of the different sections. As a reference, this is an old tile card from Warhammer Quest, and the squares are roughly just a fraction over an inch each. Once the walls and the floor section are completed, I'm just adding some of this modelling paste to make it look like a grime build-up in some of the corners. I'm also going to use this to layer over the top of some of these bricks to make it look like it used to have a different kind of surface covering it, but because this is a high traffic, small bottleneck type area, a lot of that's worn away. As I worked on this, I figured that if you were doing some kind of post-apocalyptic setting, this would make a really good layer of lino that had broken away from the underfloor layer. And here's a bit of linking video I took with my phone. You'll notice that there's some grey overpaint still on the top. Since I took these pics and videos, I've cleaned that up so that the whole top section is black to denote the negative space. I hope that you've enjoyed this first video and you'll tune in for the rest of the series. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you soon.